these topics. First one is the candidate selection process. After that, we will discuss about recruiting content library and notifications. Okay, candidate selection process. So under candidate selection process, these will be the criteria. Like we will be discussing these topics, and we will try to create one candidate selection process for a job requisition.
Okay.
Okay. Candidate selection process is basically like it provides a framework, like as I already told you, like it's a root of the ORC. Okay, so whenever we application comes on the requisition, so candidate have to go to that steps for the hiring process to evaluate the evaluate the best candidate for a job. Okay, whenever any candidate apply for a job, okay, so the candidate selection process, what it does, it tracks and manages candidate from the job applications and confirms, and once it is hired, it confirms the job applicant as well as recruiting manager as well as recruiter.
Okay.
Okay, so through candidate selection process, we can send the notifications to the candidates, to the hiring managers, to the recruiters. We can automate the process, like if this candidate is have not passed this step, then automatically disqualify the job application, or we can enable the duplicate checks on the candidate selection process, that whether once the candidate have passed this checks, then enable the send the applicant for the enable duplicate check. Okay, duplicate check means once this candidate pass some certain criteria, okay, then it will check for a duplicacy from the system, whether this his ID, email ID, or this particular details are already present in the system. If yes, then show the error to the recruiter that this candidate have already uh, matched the details with the database, but it applied with another email address, okay, on the system,
Okay.
like this. No, yeah. So when it where it we used candidate selection process while creating the requisition. Okay, while creating or editing the requisition, we select the candidate selection process. So uh, after that, we can create the template of the candidate selection process. Okay, so it usually start with uh, candidate selection process template and default candidate selection process. Okay, so first one is candidate selection process template. This process cannot be active and used to hire candidates. Okay, you can however duplicate it to create, because it is a standard one, oracle developed, so we cannot edit it or we cannot activate it. Okay,
Okay.
so it basically consists of predefined steps. So if you want to edit, like have that candidate selection process template, then you have to made a copy of that template. Okay, and start working on that copy template. Okay, second one is default one. So in this in that process, the copy of the selection process we will work. Okay, so it contains some predefined phases and state. The thing is, you can add some of your states, okay, in the new process, candidate selection process.
Okay.
Okay, by while making a copy of that to use to hire the candidates. Okay, so candidate selection process phases and states. Okay, so basically each candidate selection process may have multiple phases. Okay, in each phase, sorry, in each phase we have multiple states. Okay, so there are some standard phases, okay, delivered by oracle. Okay, out of those standard phases, there are some mandatory parts which we cannot bypass. Okay, so suppose new phase is a mandatory, or might be HR is a mandatory part, so we cannot bypass that step. Okay, and some of these steps phases are present in the candidate selection process which we can bypass.
Okay.
Okay, so while creating the while creating the candidate selection process, we will take care like in which we have to bypass this step, or in which it is a mandatory step in the candidate selection process. Okay, so just for the reference, I have just added this phase and state in the this table. Like phase is new. To enter new phase, Oracle have given these much options.
Mhm.
Okay, so we can work on these states. So once when the candidate applies, okay, on the job application, and the job application is confirmed, okay, submitted the job application. So the first basic step will be new.
New.
Okay, the very first state will be under due to be reviewed. After that, recruiter can change manually, reviewed and under consideration, selected for screening like this. And after that phase will be screening. Okay, it may be bypassed. Okay, it's not a mandatory that system have and candidate have to go to this phase and all. And
Okay.
under screening, it's to be reviewed, phone screen to be scheduled, phone screen scheduled like this. So like this, we have multiple phases, and under each phase, we have multiple steps. Okay. Now, offer is a mandatory step because without creating an offer, how candidate will move? Okay. There is
Okay.
must to create an offer letter for a candidate, right? Once he's selected. So
Okay.
offer is a mandatory part, and after that offer, HR.
So that offer also a recruiter only create or HR already
Yeah,
they
yeah.
will recruiter only.
Offer recruiter will create.
Okay.
HR HR is also a mandatory part because once the offer letter is created, how we will flow that information from ORC to core HR.
Okay.
Okay, so for that process, HR phase will work. So it's a mandatory part to flow the information from ORC to the core HR.
Okay.
Okay, so we create candidate selection process to move candidates to hiring process, evaluate candidates, and find the best candidate for a job. Okay, so we can create multiple active candidate selection process to adapt the selection process to our your business needs. Like suppose we have a very complex business scenario where we do hiring for multiple countries or a multiple departments. So what we can do, we can have more than one candidate selection process, okay, and make all of them active. And while creating the requisition, I will just simply click on candidate selection process list of values. Okay, one list will be populated for the active candidate selection processes. Okay, and for that particular requisition, I can select that candidate selection process, whichever is required for that requisition.
Mhm.
Okay,
Okay.
so here are some overview steps to create the candidate selection process. First of all, like we will initiate the creation process and enter the process properties. After that, we will create phase and states, and after that we will configure phases, add actions on the phases, like what action should be performed on that phase. After that we will add move conditions. Okay, and after that region groups and finally activate the process.
Okay.
Okay, now we will initiate the creation process and enter process properties. So let's see, let's enter into the instance. Okay, so this is the home page. I will click on my user account logo, setup and maintenance. Just give me a minute, Madhu. Okay, I think
Yeah.
refresh happened on the instance, so changes might have lost, like access and all.
Okay,
That's
no
why
problem.
option is not coming. Yeah. Okay, now it comes. Okay, so now once you are able to on the under recruiting and candidate experience section, okay, go to candidate job applications. Under candidate job applications you will able to see candidate selection process configuration. Okay, click on it. Okay, now click on create button. Okay, so standard and pipeline. Okay, first of all we will see on the standard one, name will be ORC underscore CSP underscore test candidate selection process. Okay, till now it's clear.
Yeah, it's clear.
Okay, so basically process type we have
Started.
given standard. Okay, name, code, and the description. Status will by default will be draft. Okay, so in the process type there are two values, standard and pipeline. Standard is basically for the standard job requisitions which we create daily on the recruiting process, and the second one is pipeline. So pipeline means if I'm planning to create some of the requisitions in the future, okay, what I can do, I can just simply create the job requisition and have it in the pipeline. Okay, so after that, after three months, 4 months, I can just simply pick one the job requirements from the pipeline and start the hiring process. So this is for the pipeline one. Okay, in the pipeline we cannot edit any HR or the offer phase, because in the pipeline there is no hiring process. Okay, we are not hiring any candidate at that time. Okay, so that's why only the basic phases are will be there in this. Okay, so we will use the standard one. We will click on save and continue button.
Okay.
Okay, as you can see, offer and HR are the by default one. Okay,
Mm.
and as you can see there is a logged button.
Okay.
Okay, so we cannot do anything because it's a standard delivered phases or
Uh,
given by Oracle. Okay, if we will click on states, oh, okay, now these states are coming: to be created, draft, pending approval, approval rejected, like this. Okay, so why this sign is coming? Because it's a rejection sign. Okay, so once the
okay.
profile is rejected, this sign will come. Okay,
Okay.
same in the HR, as you can see these options are coming. Okay, and once the profile is rejected, this sign will come.
So here one option is there, create. Here we won't create anything, or how it is
Where?
in, in the
Yeah, we
create.
will create the phases. We will create the phases. So this
Oh,
one I
oh,
am showing just the standard one. Okay, given by Oracle. So these
okay,
are the
okay.
mandatory stat that has to be part of a candidate selection process. Okay, we cannot
Oh,
remove this offer or HR state phases
oh,
from our
okay,
candidate selection process. Okay,
okay.
So after that we have done. So when we are done, the details page of this are displayed as we can see, and we can click on edit process properties to start editing our candidate selection process. Okay, so here
Okay.
as you can see, we can contextualize based on the recruiting type. Okay, whether it is a standard week one, professional one, which we can see later while creating the requisitions. I can contextualize based on the organization, location, job family, and the job function. Okay, so what is it means basically contextualize is whenever I am selecting any location for a job requisition, so on the candidate selection process field, it will automatically populate based on the location, based on the organization, or based on the job family, like this. Okay. So basically, I'm not contextualizing anything. Okay, I will keep it as it is. We have option to make it active or draft. Okay, I will keep it in draft only. Save and close. Okay. Now, as you can see, we have edited the process. Now we will create the phases and states. Okay. So under each phase, there might be a multiple states. Okay. So where all candidate selection process include these two mandatory phases that I have told you, offer and HR. Okay, we cannot remove these phases. Also, we cannot edit the states between these two phases. Okay, so once it is done, okay, we can start building our phases and states after that, okay, or before that phases. So one more thing, after HR state, there will now be a phase because HR is the last one.
Okay.
Okay, so before offer or between offer and HR, we can have a multiple phases and states. Okay, so each phase contains these two mandate states that I have showed you for the rejection. Okay, we cannot remove these states, and they must be at least last two states of phased, rejected by employer and a withdrawn by candidate. Okay, because in each phase we are giving an option to a recruiter like to reject a profile. Okay, so suppose we have initiated a background, we can create one phase called initiate a background check. Okay, under initiate a background check we can have multiple states. Okay, so that state, suppose some BGB is not cleared or BGB is coming like as no not passed for particular candidate, so we have to reject the profile. For that, what we have to do, if we don't have any rejection state on that phase, then we have to move it to another phase to reject the candidate, which is not correct, right? We have to
Yeah.
reject on that phase only where we have initiated the background check. So for that, we have to include the rejected by employer and withdrawn by candidate. So reject for to reject the profile. So on each phase name, on each state name, there is a some processing happens at the back end. Okay, so it's like what we say, it's recommended to not to edit this states. Okay, to for the functionality to work correctly as given by Oracle.
Okay.
Okay, so firstly to create in state, we will click on create phases. Okay, we will add new. We will click on create. Okay, so here we have created a phase name. Okay, under phase we are creating now what, a different state. Okay, so now we can see, we can give the name to uh, to be reviewed. Okay, and status we can say under consideration only. After that we can give to be reviewed. Okay, under consideration. Okay, change the order. Okay, so till now clear, everything clear? Any doubts you have till now?
No, no, it's okay. Yeah,
Okay, so phase name I have created
new.
new. Under new I have created multiple states. So first one is the to be reviewed. So this will be my very first step once a candidate enters into the new phase. Okay, after that under consideration. So under consideration, candidate will not automatically go. Okay, so recruiter will move if it is selected, or it's a recruiter's choice whether he wants to send the profiles to the candidate to under consideration or not. Or maybe recruiter can bypass this step.
Uh, yeah, Sri, one
Okay,
second. Can you give me 1 second?
yeah,
Yeah, Sri.
okay. So as you can see, I have created multiple steps. Okay, in the phase. Okay, I will click on save and close. As you can see, new phase has been added. Okay, so I have to shift it before the offer phase. I will click on this arrow button. As you can see, now new phase is the my very first step. Okay, so what is the hierarchy of my candidate selection process? New phase, offer phase, HR phase.
Yeah,
Under
please.
new
Okay.
phase, there are multiple steps. Under offer phase, there are multiple steps. Okay, and then under states, there are multiple steps. Okay, so if we will, as you can see, when we are selecting a phase, okay, there is an option, okay, to edit it. Okay, so if there is a requirement that we have to create some new steps, or to add some new step, or to modify the name of the step, then we can click on edit and start editing our phase or state name. Okay, so as you can see, if I am selecting the Oracle delivered phases, okay, and click on the edit button, okay, I can change the candidate status. Okay, under consideration, as you can see, but I cannot change the name of the states.
Okay. We
Okay,
can't edit that one. Okay.
okay, so basically, what is happening here, our candidate status is will be under consideration once the offer letter is approved. As you can see, till now, candidate application will be under consideration. Once it is approved, okay, we can now like offer sent, offer accepted, not retained, withdrawn like this. Okay,
Yeah, got it.
and also we cannot add any states. And if we want to make a mandatory phase, okay, and we want that recruiter should not bypass this phase. Okay, recruiter have to go to the through the candidate to this state. Then we can simply click on visibility, new, click on edit, mandatory yes, visibility restricted, unrestricted. Okay, click on save. Okay, and now I have made the this step as a mandatory phase. So configure phases means like as I told you, like we can make a phase as a mandatory. Okay, but once it is mandatory, so user are required to move job application to mandatory phases before moving them further in the selection process. So it now if we mark as a mandatory, so it means it will be a mandatory step. Without that, we cannot move further into the candidate selection process. They have to go through that particular step. Okay, so offer phase and HR phase by default are mandatory. Okay, so users who have the privilege to move the candidate job applications so may ignore constraints can move job applications over mandatory phases. Okay, the privilege is granted to the recruiting role by default. So basically, to move a candidate into the candidate selection process, there are some roles required which are given to a recruiter by default only when we create the users for the recruiter. Okay, so as you can see, the second option is visibility, restricted and restricted. Okay, so it means that it prevents users from viewing and managing job applications in some phases of the candidate selection process. Okay, so suppose I don't want like some users or some recruiters don't want to see the candidate in this particular phase. Okay, so we can have a restriction visibility, restricted, unrestricted like this.
Okay.
Okay, and as you can see under offer, we have an option like bypass extending the offer letter, yes and no, and allow candidate rejection comments to on withdraw, yes and no. Okay, extending by extending offer letter, like once the offer letter is approved, the second option after offer letter approved is to extend the offer letter. Okay, extending offer letter means we have to send the offer letter. So system is saying like bypassing the step, like automatically system will send the offer letter on behalf of you, like you won't have to do it manually. So yes or no, and allow candidate reason on comment on withdraw. If candidate is withdrawing, then just we can give candidate to give an option, a text box, why he is or she is withdrawing the offer letter, just a comments.
Okay.
Okay, and again yes and unrestricted. Okay, what else we have on this part? Okay, and one more thing, the steps that are added between of the phases that are added between offer phase and the HR phase. Okay, that cannot be restricted. Okay, so before offer letter, whatever phase we will add, we can restrict it. Okay,
Okay.
Now we will add actions for the phases and for the states. Action means what action we have to perform for each phase and states. Okay. Madhu, just can you just give me 5 minutes? I just want to grab a water bottle from the
Yeah,
kitchen.
yeah.
Okay.
You
Oh,
can. Okay.
so add actions. So basically now we will see what actions we can perform on each phase and each state. Okay. So
Okay.
for phases, we can add actions to be performed on specific events of phase. Actions configured or phase events are performed when the given event is triggered while job applications are within the phase. Okay, what it means. So we can give some actions that we can perform on the phases. So those actions will be performed when that particular event will be triggered. Like which event? That event we will configure in the system. So suppose I'm just giving an option. I'm just giving an example where I can say like a background check should be initiated once an candidate have passed this particular check. So that particular check is an triggered. Okay. So is an event. Okay. So when that event happens, then it will perform this action that we will
Okay.
configure. Okay. And let's do one more thing. I will just add BGV background.
So based on the client requirement, we need to create all pages here only.
Yeah, yeah, based on the client requirement, exactly. As you can, as I told you, like it's a root process of Oracle recruiting. Okay, everything will work on this basis on this only. Once the candidate enters the job application.
So this module, even formulas also is there. Recruitment mode.
Yeah, fast formula.
What formulas we have?
Yep. Okay.
So we can move that one.
Yeah, yeah, we can
We can move.
move it
Okay. Move.
here and there with this help of arrow.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. So when entering the phase, okay, we have to perform this actions. So we have a
Okay.
list of actions. Okay. So calculate computed fields. Okay, we can calculate some of the fields based on the fast formula. Okay, initiate a background check. Okay, we can have once we enter this phase, we can initiate a background check.
Okay.
Okay, so currently BGB vendor is not configured in the system, so we will click on set interview invite. Okay. So add predefined conditions, add fast formula. We can have a fast formula for more complex requirement. Okay. We can click on add predefined. Condition should be all requested interview feedback is received. Like what should be the minimum conditions to send the invitation for a job invite?
Okay.
Okay, job
But we
application
can give
should be
only one,
external.
right?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
But we can also add another all. Okay.
Okay, okay. A number
But
of
in this
conditions.
field we can give only one, and after that we can
Okay.
add one more thing.
Okay.
Okay. So basically, I've given the condition. The job application is external. Send interview invite.
So
Save
max,
and
how many
close.
conditions we can give?
Sorry.
Max, how many conditions we can give? Max.
I don't think like as much as there is an option.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. We can give that much options conditions. Okay. So suppose. Okay. This much option is there, so we can add this much conditions.
Okay. Okay. Got it.
Okay. So let's change the state to interview. Make it to. Click on save and close. Uh, so I've just renamed it to interview. Okay, let's see how it will work. Okay, so this I have added when entering the phase. Okay, when leaving the phase, I've not given any condition. Okay, and also I can add one more action and say send notification. Okay, so now a
Okay.
notification template has been enabled. Okay, we can click on recruiter or hiring manager. Okay, whichever I have to send the notification. Okay, recruiter notification. I'm not sure whether any notification is configured in the system. Okay, we will configure later on. Okay, let's see. Okay, okay, now as we can see, we have added it. Okay, when entering the phase and when leaving the phase, I can give the option add action move.
Okay.
Okay, which state we can move? Okay, interview, past interview, save and close. Okay, what I have done, I have just give the option like when I'm entering the phase interview. Okay, the this action will be performed As soon as I will enter the interview phase, automatically system will send interview invite, okay, to the candidate. And once I am leaving that phase, okay, I will give the option to the recruiter to move the candidate from interview to offer.
Okay.
Okay, so these are my actions till now for the phases, that these actions I can perform for the phase. Okay, any doubts till now?
No, no.
Okay, okay. We already have seen this. Initiate duplicate check, initiate background check. Okay, move to HR, request information. We have already seen this.
Yes.
So add move conditions is basically we can add move condition to a specific states of a candidate selection process. As I have told you, we can add each and every move conditions to each phase and each state. Okay, so move we till now we have already seen that how to add a condition to a phase state. Okay, so move conditions prevent job applications from being moved out of a current state. Okay, so all conditions must be met for a job application to move out of the current state. Okay, so as you can see, I have added one action here, move. Okay, when leaving the phase. Okay, so move it means we are exiting one phase and entering into a new state. Got
Okay.
it? So move action will what it will do, it will leave one phase, existing one, and enter within a new phase. So there is he's saying like make sure that all the conditions, okay, all the conditions that has to be met as part of a hiring process should make sure that it is completed before moving from one step to another. So basically, before adding this action, make sure all of the required actions that you want to perform or you want to check with the candidate should be completed before this leaving phase.
Okay.
Okay. Add reason groups. Okay, reason groups is basically when we are doing any action, okay, on the candidate selection process. Suppose while creating an offer letter, while rejecting a candidate, while initiating an interview. Okay, so there is a comment box there, like what is the reason, okay, behind doing this action, or what is the reason why you are moving this job applications from one phase to another. Okay, so that is a reason field. Okay, what is the reason behind this? Okay,
Okay.
so
Okay.
after in this session we will see how to create those reasons.
Okay.
Okay, after that we will activate the process. Okay, the last step is to activate the process. Now we will see how to automate the candidate selection process. Okay, so we can automate basis on the candidates as per the selections of a candidate by recruiter and hiring manager. Okay, so basically we can set up a candidate selection process to move job applications automatically, define conditions for actions to be performed automatically, and add events to perform actions automatically. Okay, so first of all we will see how to move job applications automatically. Okay, so when we configure a candidate selection process, okay, we can add the move action or a phase or on a phase or a state so that job applications are automatically moved to that phase or state. Okay, so as you can see, I have already added one move action when it will leave the phase, and once it will leave the interview state, recruiter don't have to go to the manual like move and all, move action and
Okay.
all. Okay, if you, I will not add it. Okay, so once the candidate completed the interview, so it will remain on the interview step only until and unless recruiter will manually go to the ORC page, okay, candidate job application page, and manually click on move button and will move from interview to offer stage. Okay, now when I have entered this move action, I'm eliminating that process. Okay, and I am doing it automatically. So
Okay.
basis on the prior conditions, once the prior conditions met, okay, that job application will automatically move from interview to the offer state.
Okay.
Got it? What is the functioning of this move action? Any doubts?
Yeah, yeah, it's clear.
Okay. Okay, so this is all about, we have already discussed. Now to automate the process, okay, we can click on a face and this, suppose I will click on this. Okay, to be reviewed, add action, and as you can see, all those steps that we have discussed in the phase are coming here. Okay, so once it reaches to under consideration, I want to move the candidate from new phase to the interview phase selected for interview.
Okay.
Okay, save and close. As you can see, the task has been added. Okay, so what we have to see, like when a candidate job application is automatically moved to a phase or a state, the current phase and state where the action is triggered, okay, is considered as being visited and the information is displayed in the progress history. Okay, so we have a tab called progress history where all the history is added here. All the tracking of the candidate job application is coming, like in which state, in which phases we are entering the candidate. Okay, and in which states and which states we are entering the candidate. Okay, so if the move action is configured on the new automatically, as I have added here. So earlier I have added a move action on the phase state. Okay, now I've added in the state. Okay, so as I've added the move action, so once as soon as the move action is performed on the new to be reviewed state, it automatically moves to the screening phone screen or to be scheduled. The process history indicates that the new review state was visited and the current state is now processing. So what is saying, like, okay, so I have added one condition, right? Once the candidate reaches to the under consideration, okay, it will move the application from one step, like from this phase step to the interview phase automatically. Okay, so what system is like is saying, like it will still keep on track of like which states we have moved from one phase to another phase. Okay, so it's not like if I've automated the process, okay, that steps will not be as a part of history, progress history. Okay, so it will
Okay.
still be a part of the progress history, and every step will be tracked. Okay, at which date, at which time that candidate have moved from this state to this step. Okay,
Okay.
this we have already discussed.
Wow. Yeah.
uh, Event we can say, like we but event we have to perform, okay, while entering or leaving the phase. Okay, so suppose event is request for information updated. Okay, so these all are the events. Okay, so
Okay.
by default we system is giving when entering the phase, when leaving the phase. Okay, so these all are the standard events we can perform. Okay, so whenever the request for information is updated, okay, so there is a I told you while creating the job application there is a concept called request for information, where recruiter sometimes need like where I have to need some more information from the candidate. Okay, so for that we also created a job application flow. Okay, on the previous session. So this is a request for information. So whenever that request for information block is completed by the candidate, okay, so now I can add one condition on that form. Once it is completed, I can add some conditions on the basis of that completion form. Okay, so this is an event. I can add it event.
Okay.
Okay, so similarly for the other also, if the background check is completed, once it is completed, I can add that as a trigger, sorry, event like background check updated. Okay, after that I can perform some actions on the basis of that event.
Okay.
Okay, just I'm deleting it. This we have done till now. You have clear all the points, right?
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay,
Mummy, kuning star.
so basically this part includes like we have to edit some actions in a candidate. Currently my candidate selection process is in a draft state. Okay, so now if I want to edit any actions in the active candidate selection process, what I can do, like you can edit actions in a candidate selection when you edit the actions of an active candidate selection in active candidate selection process, a warning message appears to inform you that these changes may impact existing job requisition and job application. It means that suppose I have activated one candidate selection process. Okay, and now I am editing that existing job application candidate selection process, which is already active and may be in use. Like candidates are may have on the candidate selection process. Okay, recruiter might be working on those candidate selection process. So once if we are editing the existing one which is active or inactive, okay, system will display a message that you have might have changed any on the information on the candidate selection process, and it may affect, okay, it may impact the existing job requisitions and job applications. Okay,
We'll get
so
we'll get pop up.
Yeah, we will get a warning message.
Okay.
Okay, so while once the because it is in draft mode currently, my candidate selection process is in draft mode, so I can do what options are available. I can do it all the options. Okay, I can edit it, I can add it, I can duplicate it because it is currently it is in draft mode. Okay, once it is activated or even after activated, I have inactivated that, so their editing option should be limited. Okay, so what options we have? We can add events to a face. Okay, we can add actions on event and states. We can edit actions. Okay, we can deactivate actions and we can reactivate actions.
Okay.
Okay, these options we can do. Okay, so uh, when we modify actions of a candidate selection process which is being used by job applications, okay, the changes are immediately available on on these job applications. For example, if you add an event action to an event, the action is triggered the next time the event occurs if the condition to for performing the actions are met. It means that suppose a candidate is already met I am is already into the event interview state. Okay, so I have given this option like when entering this phase, send a job interview invite. Suppose I have, for a candidate selection process which is already activated, okay, I have not added this condition,
Mummy,
like this
चलो
particular
आता
candidate
नहीं
when enters the interview phase will not send any interview invite. Currently I have not added this condition, okay,
Hmm.
into the
Okay.
candidate selection process. So, and now I'm editing my candidate selection process. And one candidate is already using this candidate selection process. It is already there. Okay, into the interview phase. Okay, and now I'm adding this condition. Okay, so now it will not work because candidate have already entered the interview phase. Okay, it will not send the interview. But again, if next time whenever he will enter the interview phase again, so suppose candidate is rejected on the current profile, okay, and he has applied on the another requisition, so whenever he will meet the criteria again, then send interview for the notification for the interview will be sent to the email id. Got it?
Okay.
So whenever next time that condition will meet, it will work. But for the existing one, like the condition where I'm changing, I'm adding a new condition, the candidate already met that condition already in that phase or the stage, then in that case it will not work.
Got it.
Okay, so when we modify some actions of a candidate selection process, that generates additional configuration on job requisitions. The configuration of job requisition template use this process to update accordingly. Okay, so suppose uh, we have created some actions, okay, on a job or on a candidate selection process. So it says that whenever some actions are added on a candidate selection process, okay, for this list, for this given list, we have to give or we have to refresh those additional informations on the job requisition. So suppose interview invite, initiate background check, request assessment, request tech credit screening, so all these information that are present on a job requisition require some additional things or some additional data to be worked on the candidate selection process correctly. Okay, so if we are adding out of these actions on the candidate selection process, then we have to go to the job requisition, edit it, and again save it. Okay, so when a job requisition uses a candidate selection process with deactivate actions, these actions are still visible on the job requisition configuration. Okay, but again there is an indication that those actions are deactivated.
Okay.
Okay, so for actions like a background check where whether we are yet to receive the information from a partner, okay, or request information form where user have not filled the user candidate have not filled the information. So those the information will be accepted even if the corresponding actions has been deactivated, because it's already a part of the candidate selection process. Okay, we are deactivating those information in the middle of the candidate selection process. Okay, so because candidate, we have already triggered those information or we have already received the information, so it will still show on the job application form. It will not be hidden if we have removed any of the information from the candidate selection process. Okay. So use the background check action for the job applications. Okay, as we have already seen, like we can initiate a background check, okay, here when we want a user will enter the phase. Okay, so let's see in the next sessions how we can initiate. If I can see, if I can show you one screen for the vendors. Okay, because I'm sure that vendors are not configured. Okay, because we are not working with any vendors currently. Okay, so any
Okay.
vendors are not available in this system. Okay, but I can show you from where you can initiate the background check. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. So now we can configure the candidate selection process to send the notifications automatically when candidate job applications are moved through the candidate selection process. So notifications can be sent automatically. Recruiter don't have to manually click on send notification tab. Okay, it can be sent automatically to candidates, recruiters, and hiring managers, hiring members like a collaborator or a recruiting agent. Okay, candidate receives email and are kept informed that of their progress. Okay, it means that candidate may be receiving multiple times on the candidate selection process. It will keep them updated like what is happening on the on their job applications on the organization. Okay, it will keep them updated about their job application, whether their profile is rejected or updated or anything. Okay. So recruiting users can view notifications that were sent and the content of those notifications, the interaction tab. So there is one interaction tab on the job application where recruiter or hiring manager can see how many notifications have been sent to the candidate and what were the content of those notifications and at what date, on which date and at what time the notifications have been sent to the candidate in the system from the system. Okay. So this the navigation is already we have seen like how to add a send notification action. Okay, and we can see this send notification. First we will try to configure first notification, and then after that we will try to send the notification. Okay, so these all are the configuration of the notification, how to send the notification. So automatically initiate a candidate duplicate check. Okay, so what this will do, okay, so we want that so I told you like to initiate a duplicate check on the candidate selection process. So sometimes there is a requirement where we have to check, okay, whether that candidate data is present in the system or not, because we have to avoid the duplicate records. I as a candidate can apply on a ORC for any job organization with some multiple email ID address, because on ORC one duplicate criteria is to check with the email address when initially candidate is entering into the ORC. Okay, so once he entered into ORC, system will check for a email ID whether this email ID is present or not. If it is present, then it will send an OTP and will say the candidate profile is already present in the system. But if it is a new email ID, then system will allow him to apply on a job requisition. So I may have a 5 different email address. Okay, so I can apply 5 times for a job requisition. Okay, but I can only have one PAN card or one Aadhaar card. Okay, so on the basis of that, I can initiate a duplicate check whether to see whether this candidate data is already present in the system or not. Okay, got it? Hello, Madhu.
Yeah, it's clear.
Are you there, Madhu?
Yes, yes.
Okay, and so we can configure the candidate selection process to automatically initiate a candidate duplicate check. Okay, so the duplicate check can be configured at multiple points, as we can see. uh, and in the candidate selection process, when a job application reaches to a specific state, we can initiate a duplicate check. Okay, and the prior conditions, the recruiters or designated members of the hiring team are informed of the duplicate check results. They receive a notification about the candidate and the number of duplicate found. They can click a link to see the duplicates. Candidates can be automatically progressed in the candidate selection process based on the duplicate check results. So let's see how to configure. Once it passed the interview, so suppose I will select on face. Okay, and click on passed interview, add action, initiate candidate duplicate check. Okay, match score high. We It's asking for whom we have to notify. I just want to notify recruiter only for a duplicate check. Or if we want to add any team members, we can add it from click by clicking on add button. Okay, email notification template, but email we have to send. Okay, for that, can auto duplicate notification. Okay, match score is basically highest, higher, medium, low. Okay, we will see. We click on continue. As you can see, we have added the duplicate check condition once the interview is cleared. Okay, so basically hiring manager and the recruiter may have a specific privileges to link with the automatic duplicate check notification to see the duplicate records. Okay, so hiring manager role and the recruiter role, so both have the so suppose hiring manager always obvious, he may have the hiring manager role and the recruiter may have the recruiter role. Okay, so define reasons to reject and withdraw job applications. So we will now define some reasons how we will okay, the reason group is basically just a second. The, this condition we have already see reason group. So as I told you, like where when we are rejecting any profile, it will ask what will be the reason behind this to reject the profile. Okay, so firstly we will configure the reason group. Okay, and after that we will select it here. So I'm just going back. Okay, select candidate selection process, reason. Okay, there are two options, whether we can create a group or we can add manually directly a reasons. Okay, let's create a reason first. Candidate is not interested. Active. Okay, now we go to group, create group, rejection group. Active. Now here also it will asking like whether to create or whether to add it from the existing one. So I will add it, which I've created just now. Save and close. Okay, as I can see, we can see a reason is created and we have attached the reason to the group. Now I will go back. We will edit our CS candidate and we will attach a reason group, rejection group, save and close. Okay, we have attached the rejection group and same we will done with the withdraw candidate. Okay, till now clear?
Yeah.
So now our candidate selection process is ready. We can click on edit process properties and we can activate the process. Save and close. And as you can see, the now the process has been activated. Candidate selection process is now activated. Okay, so this
Yeah.
is all about a candidate selection process. Okay, till now any doubts?
No Steve.
Okay, so can we have a 5 to 10 minutes break or we can
Yeah, we can
continue?
take break.
Okay,
We can take
okay,
break.
okay. So we will meet at 9:05. Okay, currently it is 8:54. After 10 minutes we will meet. Okay,
Okay.
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 Thank you. So now we will see recruiting content library and notifications. Okay, recruiting content library is basically where all the notifications and all the communications that are being communicated between the candidates and all the system notifications that are present are in the recruiting content library. So it's basically it's a library where we are keeping all the ORC related notifications and documents in this and all the standard notifications that will be triggered from the system. Okay, so it contains a variety of text-based content and the notifications which are used in a job requisition, templates, candidate job applications, and job offers. Okay, so there are basically in Fusion there are two things. First one is the alert composer. Okay, and second one is the recruiting content library. So the recruiting content library is limited to only raw RC. Okay, but the alert composer is a part of the fusion in which all the notifications that are from core HR, performance, compensation, and all are can be configured there. Okay, so both alert composer and
Okay.
the what we say recruiting content library make can have notifications for the ORC, but both of them have the different notifications. Okay, that will be triggered from the system. Okay, so suppose the alert composer, it contains notifications sent to recruiters, hiring manager, collaborators, interviewers, job offer team members for different events in the job application process. Okay, the hiring process and when a job offer moves through its life cycle. Okay, so in the whole hiring process, whenever it comes to when sending a notification to a recruiter or a hiring manager or a collaborator, okay, we can work on that and whether to send a notification to an all hiring process or while creating a job offer letter. So there are two things while creating the interview notifications. If we are sending an interview notifications to recruiter, hiring manager, collaborator, then that should be configured in Alert Composer. Okay, but if we are sending any interview notification to a candidate, then it should be configured in the recruiting content library.
Okay.
Okay, so let's see the recruiting content library, how it took likes and what are the options there. Okay, and one more thing, like it is recommended to not do not, because there are all the standard templates available in the recruiting content library, so it is recommended to not disable or not to edit them. Okay, just make a copy of them and after that edit them, because if we will edit the standard functional templates, like if we will disable those, not edit, if we will disable those standard templates, affect the recruiting life cycle of ORC.
Okay.
Okay, so recruiting and library option basically come where it comes under recruiting and candidate experience. Go to recruiting and candidate experience management, and after that recruiting content library. Open it. As you can see, all the notifications are coming here. Okay, remember we have enabled the automated duplicate check notification on the candidate selection process. For that we have selected a notification to
Yes,
send
yes.
to recruiters or a hiring manager here. So it is configured in the recruiting content library from here. Okay, we can modify it, we can create a new version of it, but it's a standard. We should not we can, but it is not recommended to disable this notification. Okay, because it will impact the existing functionality of the system.
Okay.
Okay, so what are the parts of creating a notification? So basically all the I notifications that are present in a content library is called a content item. Okay, so this is a content item, this is a content item, this is a content item, so all these are content items. Okay, so for each content item we may have different versions depending on their start date. So suppose candidate auto duplicate notification, okay, may have three versions. So first version is initially when I created the content item, I created the version. After that I've edited and updated. So whenever I will update the any content of the notification, I have to create a new version and I have to end it, I have to inactivate the previous version and I have to activate a new version on which I have made the modifications. Okay, so first of all we will create the content item. After that we will add some content. Okay, and we'll create a new version and we will translate the content. Okay, so these are the steps. Let's
Okay.
start creating a content item. Click on create. We can have send notification for test notification. Okay, now I have given the name and the code. Now I will select the category. Okay, so what category I have to select? So suppose okay, so if it is a job offer letter, then we have to select a job offer letter. If it is a thank you notification, then we can thank you. We can have a category thank you notification. Okay, if it is a job offer extended notification, then we can then do that. If it is job offer accepted notification, then we can do that. Okay, so depending on the requirement, we can select the criteria. Oh, sorry, category. Okay, basis on it. So what we can set, we can send invite notification. Okay, because we have configured in our CSP also candidate selection process. Visibility means whether to whom it will be visible, whether it is only for the external, whether it is only for the external, whether it is for the both internal as well as external. Okay,
Yeah, got it.
now we will configure our message. Subject is invitation for an interview. Okay, let's see message text. Okay, hi. Now, what we will see, we will add a token. Token is basically a tag for the field. Okay, so I can create a standard template. Okay, hi candidate name. So from where this candidate name will be populated for each candidate. Okay, for you it will come hi Madhu. For me it will come hi Shrey. So how that name is changing every time whenever a notification is triggered. It is changing by using a token. Okay, I am just giving the reference of the field, and system will automatically pick the candidate name for whom it will be triggered. Okay,
Okay.
so candidate first name, insert in message text candidate first name comma like hi Shrey, you have been invited for an interview. Okay, and what else we have an option.
So this template, once we created,
Your
once we
voice is very low, uh, Madhu, can you
yes, still.
please?
So now it's
Yes,
clear.
yeah, better.
So yeah, so this message, each candidate we have to send individual. Automatically we can send for all.
Yeah, that's why we are adding attaching tokens. Okay, if we will manually
Okay.
hard code the candidate name, then how many
Okay.
notifications we can hard code, right? We cannot hard code the name, so that's why we are attaching the tokens. So I'm passing the
Okay.
candidate first name token here. Okay, whenever I will
Okay.
trigger a notification, this candidate first name token will take the reference from the backend. Okay, so for
Okay.
whom I am sending the notification, it will check it from the database. Okay, so
Okay.
whether it's me or you, so if it's me, it will add the name Shrey. If it's you, it will add the name Madhu. Okay,
Yes.
so
Yes.
we
Okay.
don't have to send manually whenever any condition criteria matches to our candidate selection process. Okay, it will automatically trigger to the candidate. Clear?
Yeah. Clear.
Okay, so you have been invited for an interview for a job requisition for a job requisition. This okay. Regards recruiting team. Okay, this I have done. Okay, so this is the message text that will be sent to the candidate on a email. Okay, the same we can add into the SMS text which will be sent to the phone numbers. Okay, a message text. Okay, and also it's a rich text editor for both the SMS text as well as message text. Okay, so we can copy paste or we can click on HTML format and we can format our content using HTML. Okay, so we have multiple options to whether it make it bold, italic, okay, all the paragraph settings, number, bullets and all, colors we can change. Okay, so we can attach a picture or we can insert a picture. So multiple things we can do here. Okay, so now I've added to the content of the notification. I will click on start on activation. Start on activation means whenever once I will click on activate the notification, it will start from there only. Okay,
Okay.
so I will click on save and activate. Okay, so this item is already present in the system. Okay, uh, for this category. Okay, I'll just save it for a draft for the reference. Okay, now we have already seen how to create a content. Let's make it active. Let me see if there is any job offer letter present. Mm, yeah, it's present, but offer letter we will see in the next session. Let me see another. So till now you have cleared, right, how to create a content and all.
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay, so once we have created the offer letter, oh sorry, offer letter, once we create the content or a notification, okay, it will look like this. Okay, which will be activated. Okay, so if suppose if I want to edit this content as per the business requirement, I got some new requirement and they said to update this notification. Okay, okay, to update this content, what I will do, I will simply click on actions. Okay, not added content item name, I will click on copy to create new version.
Okay.
Okay, copy to create new version. It will maintain the history. Okay, it will inactivate the previous version. Okay, give me an option to make the new changes and start a new version with a new activation date. If I want to plan it
Okay.
for the future changes, I can select the future date change. From that date it will be activated from the system. Okay, okay. And if I want to start it from today only, I will click on start on activation, save and activate. So once it will be activated, it will be start from that date and time. Save and activate. As you can see, a new version is created. Okay, previous one is undated and the new is start date is 30th of July. Okay, today, and time is also for today only. Okay,
Okay.
so this we have already seen. So basically, a content item may have multiple status. First one is active. Okay, so the content is available to use in job requisition, template, candidate job application, and job offer. If it is active, draft one is we can make the changes when it is in draft. Current means the content item version is being used. You cannot modify its content. You have to create a new version for it. Okay, as I have seen the green dot. Okay, this means current.
Current. Okay.
Okay, future means the content item version is scheduled to use at a later time. You can modify its content. As I have showed you that calendar option. If I have plans to made some changes on the version, but business said that roll out after 1 month. Made the changes, but roll out it after 1 month. Like it's a future change. Okay,
Okay.
so
Okay.
what I will do, I will click on the calendar and give the future dated changes. Okay, and after that the status will go to future, which means that content is changed, but it will be impacted, it will be activated from the future start date. Okay,
Okay.
ended means if I have inactivated ended the content item which is not in use. Okay, it will be go into the ended state and we cannot modify it further.
Okay.
Okay, when to delete or deactivate a content item version, uh, the difference between deleting and deactivating a content item version is you delete a content item version to remove a version from the list of versions of a content item. Okay,
Okay.
the delete action is only available for the versions who are obvious. Like we can delete the versions or the content items when it is in draft state. Okay, or is a future status, because we cannot
Okay.
delete the active ones. Okay, or we cannot delete the inactive ones. So for which templates we can deactivate? We can only deactivate those uh, which a content item to prevent the from being used. Okay. So when we deactivate a content item, its changes status changes to inactive. Okay. The deactivate content item action is only available for active items. When an item is deactivated, it remains in use where it was previously selected. Okay, so it means that if we are changing an existing template, we are if we are changing if we are deactivating an existing template, so it will be remain in use if it is used earlier, but in after that it will not it will stop reflecting on the screens and in the list of values. Okay,
Yeah.
so post-in descriptions for job requisitions. So we can create post-in descriptions in the recruiting content library that recruiters can use when they create job requisition. So suppose when I am creating a job requisition, so that job requisition should be posted on the career portals, right? Only then it will be visible to the candidates. So for there is some description when we apply for a some job, the we will see some job descriptions, right? Post and descriptions, job descriptions. So those post and descriptions can be configured here.
Okay.
Okay, and
Yeah.
we can customize those post and descriptions in the content library. Okay, so it's basically consists of contains a short description or a more detailed description. Okay, okay, so it basically appears on the career site job search result page, which lists the open jobs with the names. locations and brief descriptions. So whenever a candidate clicks on a job, it opens up the job requisition which shows the detailed description. Okay. So whenever we create a posted description, we have to specify if the description is used for the internal career site or the external career sites or both. If the internal career site description is currently not in used in the internal candidate experience, so its value is never displayed other than in the requisition. We will see how to create a post and descriptions. We can also contextualize basing on the recruiting type, organization, location, job family, and job function. When a posting description is contextualized, only descriptions matching the context of the job requisition will be available for a selection when a recruiter creates a job requisition. So suppose I am creating a job requisition for a country US. Okay, so only posting descriptions that are related to US will display, not that are related to India will display there. Okay, so this means that I am contextualizing my job posting descriptions for a job requisition. Okay, let's see. So there is no posted description. Let's try to create one. Okay, so the category I have selected posted description, visibility I have selected internal, external both. Okay, start on activation. As soon as I will activate, it will start. Okay, and location I'm not contextualization. Okay, short descriptions. This is for the test job. Detailed description that we have configured. Responsibilities and the qualifications. Okay, so this is only just for the text. We can only add the text here. Node, we cannot attach any tokens here. We can only add text and we can format that text based as per on the
Okay.
requirement. Click on save and activate. As you can see, now it's activated, and there is no version because it is the basic version that we have created, first version. Whenever in the future if there is any requirement to update the content, I will click on actions, copy to create new version, and will create a new version of it and update the changes on that. Okay,
Okay.
so types of notifications. Okay, so notifications are used to keep users and all to keep informed for their actions and events. Okay, notifications can be sent to the candidate, recruiters, hiring manager, hiring team, collaborator types, and agents at a specific point of the candidate selection process. It's coming here. Okay, so there are different type of notifications. First one is to automate job application notifications for candidates moving in the candidate selection. For example, candidate receive a notification after being selected for an interview. Okay, so while creating a CSP, candidate selection process, I have attached a notification. I'm trying to attach because at that time there is no notification, so we have not added it because there is no notification. So we have met the we have added the criteria where as soon as that criteria meets, it will move the candidate from one position to another. Okay, so same as for the notification, whenever any prior criteria meets, okay, but it will send notification to the candidate. Okay, so automated agent notifications automatically send the agents as job publication move through the candidate selection process. Okay, automated hiring team notification automatically sent to members of the job requisition and job offer hiring team as job applications are moved through the candidate selection process. This we have also done. Candidate notifications we have also seen. Hiring team notifications we have seen. Review notifications means it is for the recruiters and hiring managers to review job applications. For example, a hiring manager receives a notification that three new candidates have passed the screening process and they are ready to be reviewed. Okay, so whenever a candidate reaches some steps that needs a review to be done by the hiring manager or recruiter, we can send notification to them to that these candidates are reached to that state, please review their job applications in the ORC. Like this we can send. Okay, notifications in alert composer for recruiters, hiring manager, collaborator to be informed of events within the hiring process. For example, an alert is sent to a hiring manager to confirm that job was posted. Okay,
Okay.
now we will see how to configure automated job application notifications. So candidates can automatically receive notification through a that we have discussed already. Okay, so there are now what we will do, we will create if we will check whether it will there any present candidate auto FYI notification. This one automated job application notification. Okay, internal external both. Start on activation. Subject automated system notification. Okay, hi, candidate first name. This is an automated email from system. Okay, save and activate. What error is coming? Okay, Okay, so I've created this message, which we will be using in the candidate selection process now.
Okay.
So now we have configured the automated notification. Now we will configure candidate notification. So basically, for the candidate notifications, there are different types of notifications for candidate. Okay, so first one is candidate job application notification. Okay, which are for the use of job applications where candidate we want to send any notifications or any we want to communicate with the candidate using a notification. Okay, so candidate job application or pool members. Okay, pool member notification, candidate profile notification whenever any candidate profile created in the ORC, only profile, not a job application, then it will send. And prospect candidate notification, so prospect also we can set. So you will see candidate job application, uh, candidate job application event, start on activation. Hi, candidate, let's add the hiring manager I'm adding. Okay, candidate is now moved to different steps. Please check and review. Thanks. Okay, this I'm sending to the hiring manager.
sorry, for the candidate as a hiring manager. Let me change the name also. Token, because it is for the candidate, right? Automated job application notification. Hmm, Candidate display name.
So is there any difference? So candidate to display name and first name.
Yeah, yeah. Display name is basically a full name. So for me, it's Shrey Kohli, but first name will
Okay.
be Shrey.
Understood. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Save and activate. So now this template is now ready to be used. So as we same as per, we can configure for candidate pool member, candidate profile, and prospect candidate notification. Okay.
Okay.
So now we will see how to configure review notifications. Review notifications, I told you, like whenever we want that a recruiter must know like these much applications have been added to the job requisition to, uh, to just review them and made the required changes on the job requisition. Okay, so how we will configure in, but as I told you that all the notifications that are sending to the recruiter or a hiring manager, all that must be configured in the alert composer. So now I will show you where to configure the alert composer. Where is the what is the navigation? Okay. uh, let's see. Okay, come to home page under tools, alert composer. Okay, alert composers, review. Okay, so as you can see, these two review notification came when I will search when I have searched for review. First one is to IRC job application review hiring manager, and second one is IRC job application review recruiter. Okay, let's see for the recruiter how it look likes. Okay, so this is the name of the notification, which is a standard one. It should not be we can modify it, but we will keep it as it is. Description of the template. Okay, template, which template is attached here? It's enable or yes or no. Language, which language is the template is. Okay, manage recipients and message. When you click on edit. Okay, so as you can see, expression to the recruiter username. Okay, so whenever there is a review done, this notification will be triggered to a recruiter. Okay, if we want to add an recipient, we can click on add recipient button and send it. So we have an option mail and work list. Work list mean it will send the notification on the system, like on the Fusion application, not on the email ID. Okay, But if we are selecting an email, then it will send the notification to our to my registered email address, which is registered with my Oracle Fusion application. Okay. Format type is HTML. This is my subject. So hi recruiter name. There are new job applications on job requisition. This ready to be reviewed. And job application link for that candidate and access job application status. That's it. Thank you. Okay. So these all things we can configure in the alert composer. Just we have to search the right template and start editing whenever it is required or whenever you have received a requirement to edit it. So remember all the notifications when we are sending to recruiters, hiring managers, collaborators, or any hiring team member, that will be configured in the alert composer. Okay, and all the communication that are being communicated with the candidate will be configured in the recruiting content library. Okay.
So this alert composer not only for ORC, even different offers also they can use, right?
Sorry.
This alert composer not only ORC, even different modules, even for
Even different modules because it's a part of Oracle Fusion. So for
okay,
recruiting content library is limited to ORC only, but not as in case for Alert Composer. Alert Composer is also for all the modules. Okay, depending on whether the notifications are configured in those module or not.
okay, okay.
Okay. Hiring team notifications we have to configure. So if you want to use hiring team collaborator types, okay, you need to define them prior to create any notification template. Okay, so as I told you, as a in a hiring team, while creating a job requisition or a job offer letter, so there is a section called hiring team. Under those that hiring team, there are three options. First one option is for the hiring manager. Okay, second one is the recruiter. So these two are the standard one. Okay, in which hiring manager, if I list I will open only hiring managers that are present in the system will come, and if I will open the recruiter list, so only those users will come who are recruiters. Okay, and third option is the collaborator. Okay, collaborator means if I want to add any third person from the organization into my on my requisition so that he or she may enter the required valuable inputs. Okay, so I will do, I will mark him as a collaborator so that he or she can edit the requisition or a job letter. Okay, if they are not added as a collaborator, they will not be able to change the details on the job requisition or a job offer letter. Okay, so say the case not applied to our users because R is a very high privilege user and all the admin access is granted to us. So if even if we are not a collaborator, we can edit it, but not as for the limited access. If there is a limited access for the user and that user is added as a collaborator on the job requisition, so then they can easily add the details of the job requisition. Got it?
Yes, yes.
Concept of collaborator, yeah. So let's see how to add a collaborator type. We will go to home page, click on user account button, setup and maintenance, click on here task, search, manage common, manage common lookups. Okay, so as you can see, we have collaborator type. Under collaborator type, we have two collaborator and work councils representative. Okay, so as you can see, so we will use these details only, existing one. If you want to create, you can click on add button and create our new collaborator type. Okay, basically these two collaborator types are coming: work councils representative and collaborator. Okay, now we will configure the recruitment templates. Okay, category. Select hiring team notifications. Internal, external, subject, HM notification, hire test. That's it. Just click on save and activate. Oh, sorry. So till now we have seen how to configure hiring team notifications, how to configure notifications for candidate, how to configure automated notifications, how to configure manual notifications, how to configure review notifications and alert composer. So each and every type of notifications we have seen, and on the different sections how to configure it, we have also seen it. Okay, so now the what is left with the to attach those notification to our candidate selection process so that we can use it while initiating our or while using our candidate selection process. So we will cover in while creating a job requisition. Okay, so now the next topic is job requisition templates. Okay, so let's see a job. So basically an overview. A job requisition templates provides a way to facilitate a creation of job requisitions by defaulting value in several fields. So why we create a job requisition template, why there is a need to create a job requisition template. Okay, so suppose you are working as a recruiter in an organization, okay, where there is a need of a job requisition like accountant role. Okay, that is a very frequent role which opens very frequent in our organization. So suppose monthly we are hiring, we were creating a job requisition like 5 to 10 times for a accountant role only. Okay, or might be a multiple, might be a slightly senior accountant or all. Okay, so re- creating a requisition itself is a little bit lengthy process because we have to fill each and every field, mandatory fields and all, custom fields we have to fill, we have to attach the templates and all, so it takes little bit time. Okay, so no, but Oracle have given, or if Oracle have given one standard functionality called, Oracle have given one standard functionality called Oracle requisition templates, where Oracle is saying just create one template, okay, with the fields populated on the template. Okay, now whenever there is a requirement, no need to create a job requisition from scratch. Okay, just attach the template. Okay, do whatever changes you want to do, because once the template is attached to the job requisition, all the fields will be auto populated that we have filled in the template. Okay, while creating a job requisition, all the fields will be populated and will be picked up from the template that we have filled by creating a job requisition template. So job requisition template can be created in three ways. First one is the standalone, which is not dependent on any of the fields. Second is for the job specific, and third is one is the position specific. Okay. So when you view the list of job requisition template, you can see type of requisition template, and you can also filter basis on the these types. So let's see the standalone. Standalone is basically to be made to use by recruiters when they create a requisition based directly on a template. Templates for jobs means you can create a job requisition template for a specific job. You first create a template for a job which contains requisition values not available in a job. You then go to the job details work area where you can select the job requisition template you just created. Okay, and same for the position. You can create a job requisition template for a specific position. You first create a template for jobs which contains the requisition values not available in a job. You then go to job position details work area where you can select the requisition template you just created. Let's see. So these are the different three types of the job requisition template. Let's see how to create a job requisition template. Till now everything is clear, right? Any doubts, please let me know.
Yeah, it's clear.
Okay. Under job requisitions, we will go to job requisition templates. So as you can see, if you will click on drop down arrow, standalone, jobs and position. We will click on standalone. Now all the fields are populated here. Okay. So these all fields are a part of job requisition, creating a job requisition. So recruiting type like professional, business unit if I want to give, code, it's a mandatory, spec template, jet, title also we can give, accountant, role. So display an organization chart means if you click on this, so whenever we are creating any organization chart in the Fusion Core HR, okay, it will display the template there. Hiring manager or recruiter we can give, collaborator type we can give, okay, any job department, all the fields that are related to job requisition are here, and we can pre-populate all the fields here. We can also select the candidate selection process. Okay, we can also select our external application process flow, see job application flow, which we have configured already on the previous session. Okay, and all the details will be are present here. We can also select and then click on save. As you can see, status is now draft, but the template is now created. If I go to job formatting, and I can edit the job formatting like for the external descriptions, employee descriptions, and internal employee descriptions. Now activate template. Now the requisition is template is activated. Activate we in preview. Preview we can see, under actions preview template. Okay. As that template is not attached, so that's why it's not coming. We will attach the template to the job requisition in the next session, and we will see how it look like. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So I think job requisition part we can cover in the next session. Okay. Any issues? We can cover, right?
Yeah, yeah, okay.
So this is all for the today's session. Please let me know if you have any doubts we can discuss now, or you want to ask anything.
No, no, as I know it's clear. Even I can try to sit today. Even today's class, I don't think I can go through that. By tomorrow, if anything means I can ask you.
Okay, okay. So if you need, if you find some time today, you can work like you can practice it on the instance. You have the credentials, right? So you can
Yes,
practice on
yes.
the instance, and let me know any issues. Just ping on the